Welcome to the Vodafone Firestarters show. From the Felix Meditus in Amsterdam, where we have been dancing and partying and holding receptions for the past week, we're here to discuss for nearly 45 minutes the future of festivals. Will we have festivals, or will you become a festifail? How not to become a festifail? Because you know, you could say at a dance event like this, a lot of people are thinking about the future, and we have panelists who can tell us a few things, and I think a few is an understatement, about how to run a good festival, and especially what you should not do. All of this will be discussed with my lovely co-host Jojanneke, so give her a round of applause. Let's start by introducing our guests. First of all, we have a very, very interesting guest. He is the general manager, you could call him the boss man, of a South by Southwest music festival. His name is James Minor. Could we have a round? Hey!
Well, here we are in a town with thousands of bands, each with a style and philosophy and a song of their own. Pick any band and create your own equation.
Another one of our guests is Michel Penders, who has a background in music and television and broadcasting and therefore marketing. Worked at MTV, worked there with Laura. They together stopped, and then they started a new venture called Plus One, and that's interesting because they're now working for MTV but also other commercial partners to actually create new, improved and interesting festivals, small ones, big ones. So I'm very interested and happy that he's here today with us. Michel Penders, thank you. Now that is Bungle Up, which looks amazing, doesn't it? Well, that was actually one of these newer festivals. They had rented out a whole place. Everybody was allowed to come except me. So I told Michel, you ain't on this show if I ain't there the next time. So Michel, we have a deal, eh?
I didn't know that before, sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Depends on the outcome of this discussion, though.
But first, another individual who's somebody to watch. So if you're here to get some information on who's who, write down Rob Simon. Overdose.am. It's an Amsterdam-based online magazine, and they share and curate cultural world as they experience it. And it just so happens to be that others find that very interesting as well. Take a look. You're like the young gun, the new kid on the block, huh?
I guess that's my my role here.
What do you think is the key to a successful festival?
Well, I've only been involved in, I think, 3 festivals.
Yeah, but that's why I'm asking you. They're successful.
It's hard to say. I think we just started out following our gut feeling, and what we do, at least, is we just start with a concept, which is the center point for everything. The music, the decoration, the marketing. Just every little detail has to stick to this middle concept.
Yeah.
And we never make any concessions to that. And the concept is different every time. But it's always the most important thing. And I think that consistency in everything is something that people really appreciate nowadays.
Yeah. But obviously you're still 3rd festival, yeah. So that time that concessions will have to be made is still to come.
Well, you always have to make concessions eventually, but I think we fight them for as long as we can.
Okay,
and we don't make any sacrifices unless they're forced onto us, kind of.
Okay.
And well, so far so good. As long as you make sure you always have complete creative control over everything, then there's not many people
complete creative control over everything.
Yeah.
Let's go to the first topic. Innovation is the key word for successful festival organizations. James, same question to you. What is the key to a successful festival?
I think it's kind of being unique and doing something that, you know, really just reflects you.
Yeah. And how did you get involved with South by Southwest?
Well, my past is a little different. It's not from a festival background.
Yeah.
I mean, the sort of things that I did, I like played in bands, I toured in bands, you know, I booked tours for bands, I worked at clubs, I did just about everything. And I was living in New York and I was just looking for a way to get back to Austin, and it just kind of fell together. So.
Yeah. And then when you're in Amsterdam at the dance event, which becomes bigger and bigger every year, you tend to ask yourself, what's the lifespan to all of this? You know, what's the lifespan to a successful festival? How long can you go on with South by Southwest?
Hopefully forever.
Oh,
I mean, it's been going on for 27 years right now, and it just kind of goes on.
What should you do not to be a festifail? Because you've seen big festivals, smaller festivals, and now you've started your own festival. Mm-hmm. What's the key?
I think the key is the ability to bring together a great crowd, because eventually the public is the one that make a great festival. I mean, all that we can do is go, have a good production, book the artists, make sure there's beer, but it's the people that make it a cool festival. And we luckily have the ability to attract a cool crowd that our mind like.
How do you do that?
I don't know. To be quite honest, I don't have. It's not like a secret. It's not like mathematics that you can work out. He said we do something by gut feeling. I always think if I like it, there must be more people that like this.
Let's not talk about me anymore.
You know what? I think we should go to the next topic. Successful festivals are lifestyle experiences. Rob, what's your take on that?
I completely agree. I think if people go to an event, even if they go for the music, you don't just bring your ears. You also bring your eyes and your tongue and everything. Everything that goes on there that tickles the senses is important for the day people have, or the experience people have.
How do you manage to do that in Austin when your festival is so big that it literally takes over a whole city?
I mean, I don't think that really applies to us, because what we're there for is, you know, artists and industry. And I feel like that's kind of a different thing.
Yeah, because there's no... You're really there to link the artists to the industry, so people go over there to play or get a chance to play so that people can book them at a festival.
Yeah.
But still, it's an experience though.
Yeah.
Because you go there, it's in Austin, it's the food, it's the beer, it's the music, it's a whole experience.
The whole scenery.
It's a whole scenery.
Totally.
I mean, that's an incidental thing that we don't really have any control
it just
over.
happened.
I wanted to know, Rob, what was the biggest hurdle you ran into when you did your first or second festival?
We work with 3 people. One does all the programming, the music. The other one is a designer. He makes the artwork, but also all the decoration. And I do both the business side and the marketing and the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
What we had no experience in was actually putting up a festival. So we completely underestimated that part of the story. But we learned from our mistakes. We were lucky enough that we were good in the promotion and the conceptual part. So we got the people in, and even though the first attempt it was not perfect, but people could see the concept. They could see the time and the love that was put into it, and we learned from that. But if I would name my biggest hurdle, that would definitely be underestimating how much work all the logistics and everything is.
What do you do to keep your standards up every year? Because you cannot tell me that you go home not worrying about will your edition of South by Southwest be successful. So there must be, you know, point is that you make for yourself as a festival.
I mean, just to have exciting new music. I mean, if you have the same stuff every year, it's...
Well, how do you do that then? How do you do that?
You just listen to people that you trust, and you go out there and you look for things.
So let's go to the next topic.
We are rhythm riders to the beat providers, citizens of an electric sin. When we came into the house as strangers, but we leave this house as friends. It's a spiritual thing, no, it's more like a sensation. It's more like a sensation, a vibration, a progressive dedication. And all the while searching for that thing that keeps us free. Looking into the past, present, and future at the same damn time. That universal message of music, without it we are just wanderers trying to find our way through a crowd of indifference. That message of music, forever growing yet never changing. We walk towards a sound, but this beat, it has no end.
The Netherlands is leading when it comes to dance festivals. What is the secret? Why are we so good at this? Whether it's Sensation or the more hardstyle festivals, thousands of people coming together, infrastructure perfect, water perfect, emergency services perfect, public transport. What is the secret?
Well, I think we started a long time ago with big production. I mean, the first ADE party was more than 20 years ago, maybe. And so we started producing things out of a normal club long before everybody else did. We didn't have big clubs like England would have. So you need to go to a different area where you need to have different production. And for some reason, we just evolved with it. And DJs are at top level, production are at top level, light shows are at top level. And now we're exporting this to all different countries. I think it's wonderful.
Rob, what's your ambition when it comes to your festival? I mean, do you want to be as big as the ADE parties? Or are you like, no, please, I have 3 people, I don't want to, no.
I would prefer to stay a bit more crappy.
The concept is crappy.
Could you define that?
Well, it's awesome that we do this and that this comes from such a small country. But I think there's busloads of Dutch kids that go to festivals in Germany and other countries every summer, to festivals that are a lot less perfectly organized and a lot less show, but they have a little bit more maybe soul or passion in it, and they're longer, they're more days, they're just in a forest next to a lake, and people also like that. They don't just want to be in the middle of a massive entertainment production. They also care a lot about just being with good friends in a good place,
So is
with
it
a good
actually
atmosphere.
what you're saying is maybe in Holland it's less about the music and more about the entertainment? In other countries it's more about the vibe and maybe the music?
Yeah, I think the vibe. The music is part of the vibe, but the music is also part of the entertainment. But
I mean, we have crappy festivals with a small crowd, which is intimate. And we have the big ones. I mean, we have the best of both worlds, I reckon.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
And the big festivals are about making money. Yeah, of course.
But we're definitely not leading in the more crappy intimate festival thing.
How is it you think of a concept and then you want it to become a success, but then it is a success and it becomes mainstream, and like you mentioned before, it becomes so mainstream it's too good. Can you stop that before, or how do you challenge that? Because actually you're happy with the success, but then again you're like, this is the end, because now it's downhill again.
Yeah, I think it's always really difficult to see your top point coming. I mean, you're on top of the hill and then you're going over the hill, and it's very difficult to see when the time is going to be that you're going over the hill. And what we recently did is we went down in numbers of visitors of one of our festivals because we were thinking this is not the crowd that we want to have on our festivals. We need to go smaller again. Otherwise, in 3 to 4 years, it's completely finished. And but I think you always realize this a year is too late, and it's difficult to turn it back. But it's the hardest challenge for everything, I think, to make sure you're cool and you're innovative, and you get the people that you want there. That's definitely the hardest point for us.
Scaling down. Do you have the same discussions in clubs about parties? Like this is becoming too big?
Well, you have a door policy.
Yeah,
right? So
actually,
you don't let some people in, even though the club's not full. You're still not letting people in because that's not the crowd you want in your club.
Yeah.
And that's basically the same thing. Otherwise, business-wise, if you're running a club and there's nobody inside and there's people that want to go inside, what are you going to do? You're going to let them in eventually, and then you're basically going down all the way.
But is it something you can control? Like who comes? It's nearly
difficult,
impossible.
especially with online ticket sales. We can't see who's buying our online tickets. So it's difficult to monitor, and this is what you can do in your communication and the booking of your artists.
Because how is this going to look, the future of festivals and dance festivals?
I think it's so difficult to say because there's more festivals, especially in the Netherlands. There's more festivals coming every year, and every year people are saying there's got to be a shakeout. There's some of them not returning next year, and still they're returning every year, and there's a new one's also starting.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some of the big festivals, without naming them, they've been around for 15 years, and every year we're thinking this is definitely their last year, and they're there again next year.
We have a question here.
I'm wondering, how do you challenge the big fees from artists? What's the big fees?
Okay.
The artist is quite expensive to have on a show or the festivals. How do you challenge that?
Well, we try to make up concepts that don't really evolve around the big artists, because once you go into that bidding war, you're stuck for the rest of your festival bidding on DJs that are getting more expensive and more expensive. And if you have a big DJ this year, you're not guaranteed you're going to have him next year. And so we try to build concepts that don't really evolve around big artists. And because it's just amazing the amounts of money that are being asked for DJs. It's just amazing. We can't even pay that for a festival and make a break-even point.
Yeah, well, could you? What do people pay for like a?
I don't know what they pay. I know what they ask.
Okay, spill the beans. We need the dirt.
Yeah, but you don't book them because
no, we don't book them.
You get the war with who's the bigger name on the poster.
There's Dutch DJs asking for a festival gig 90,000 euros, and you have exclusivity for the summer, but. We could never afford that.
Bands actually want to, would kill somebody to play at South by Southwest instead of you having to pay. How does that work? Does that go for everybody?
Yeah, we don't pay
everybody.
Artists.
You don't pay anybody? Oh, that's a great concept.
So whether it's
everybody wants to be there.
Yeah. How do you do that? Well, whether it's wannabe star performing or Madonna or Nas, nobody gets paid.
Well, I'm not saying they don't get paid. We don't pay them.
So explain.
I mean, sometimes there'll be, somebody presenting a show, and they'll be like, "Oh, we want this artist to play," and it's up to them to work out whatever deal.
You don't. You just say we're not paying a thing. You can do it.
I mean, we pay for production of the show.
Yeah. I would like to thank all of you as well. We all need to thank Jojanneke. She's over here. Yep. Because. Not only did she come here today, but in the process of preparing this, she gave me a lot of pointers, and she knows a lot about the industry. So it was good to have you here today. The same goes for our guests in the first show and the second show. So maybe also for them a round of applause. Yeah. And I would like to see you guys back here again next year or somewhere later on today, having a good time. What do you say? Thank you.